Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
From the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
What up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. I am your host, Ashton Forbes. Guys, serious time. We might be having a serious stream tonight. Okay, let's not even get to other topics. Let's just get right to the topic at hand. I almost did an emergency live stream on Saturday. Decided to wait until Monday to see if I could get a hold of the lawyer myself. So right off the bat, I have not gotten a hold of the lawyer myself. But I want to give you guys an update on what has happened here. If you've been following my social media, you've been probably wondering what's been going on. So first, I'm going to give an overview, and then I will go through some of the messages and what have you that I received so that you guys can know that, whatever's real or not. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show some clips that we've got around Edward Sealand's case that we were kind of looking at, just so you guys can understand the context to it. So right off the bat, Saturday morning or maybe Friday evening, I got a direct message from somebody. Just for the record, to direct message me, you have to be one of my followers. Or I'm sorry, I have to follow you. So most people can't direct message me. Now, I do follow like 6,000 people, but I primarily only follow people that repost my content or say something nicer and supportive of what we're trying to do. So the fact they could message me was like, okay, they're probably a strong follower of mine. And they claimed that they got in touch with Lynn's lawyer. What? You guys know I've been saying on podcasts, I've been trying to get in touch with Lynn's lawyers. And I've been unsuccessful. So my initial response was bullshit. No way. I basically told them bullshit. And I'm going to read to you exactly what I wrote. And I'm probably not going to show my DMs unless it becomes a whole big thing where people don't believe me, whatever. But the reason why is just because I accidentally show private information way too much. And I'm trying not to. So the person's name is Seal Morningstar. Okay. And yeah, this is actually the first time. They've never messaged me before. And they said, Ashton, this was Saturday. So Saturday, 3:39 p.m. I just spoke to Larry D. Youngner, the former lawyer representing Edward Lynn. A stereoscopic 3D satellite video actually was part of the case evidence produced. This is not a prank in all capitals. So I don't think I saw that right away. And then they sent another message saying, at 4:44, so an hour later, as soon as I started to say what crucial piece of evidence I was interested in, a stereoscopic satellite video, he cut me off and said, I understand exactly what piece of evidence you're talking about, and that he would forward the question I had to Lynn. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show this part. I didn't even realize he sent me all this. Truthfully, chat, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really look at my DMs that much. I kind of look at them, but I don't really read all of them. You guys have to realize I have so much stuff to go through on a daily basis. So please don't be offended by that. But I am going to show you here what I'm talking about. This doesn't have any, there's no personal information in this. So this was the first message I got from this guy. The reason why you don't see the star. Oh, this was why they were saying that the Joe Rogan thing didn't have the button next to his name. because what I did was if you scroll down and take a screenshot on desktop, it like makes it look all weird like that. Okay. There you go. And then you can see my response. So I did actually, you know, you can see I checked my messages and then I responded. I seriously doubt that. Like, I didn't believe this for even 1 second. Because people will send stuff and you just, you know, seems like bullshit. You're just like, okay, no way. And the reason why is because I already spoke to his lawyers like a year ago. And I called them back again a few months ago, back in like October. And although I didn't talk to the lawyer, I talked to the law firm that was representing him that Youngner used to work for. He left that firm, and their aides spoke with the lawyers directly and said that they couldn't talk to me at all unless Edward Lynn gave them permission. Now, so you're caught up to speed. Now we're at that part, okay? So I ignore it. So then I get all these messages, and I don't check my messages until like probably 11 o'clock at night. I actually was playing Fallout. I was playing Fallout 4, and I go back to my messages, and I see these follow-ups from him. He says, I didn't record the conversation, but I have 2 voicemails from him. And he sent me one of the voicemails. I'm staring at it right here in my DMs. I'm not going to play the voicemail because A, he's already posted the voicemail publicly. I'll let you listen to the public voicemail. And the voicemail that he posted publicly is edited. They edited out a certain part in there that has some personal information about Mr. Youngner. And the version that I have in my DMs is the unedited version. Okay? You get what I'm saying? So then I went, oh, okay, because I heard the voicemail. Now let's just listen to it right now. Did he make a post or just a reply? Oh, man. I don't even think he made a post. I think he just replied with it. Hold on. Oh, here it is. No. So everyone's wondering, is he legit? Well, while I'm looking for this, I actually can't find it at the moment. It's somewhere. I have one more spot to look for it. Whether or not the Twitter user is legit, that doesn't really matter, because when you listen to the voice of the person in the voicemail is Larry Youngner. It's him. And I'll just go ahead and say that I tried to call him first thing on Sunday morning, and nobody picked up. And I left a message for him. And it was it was him on his voicemail when I left a message. And I cross-referenced the phone number with his name, and there was a hit. So it's absolutely Larry Youngner, the lawyer of Edward Lynn. So where are we at right now? And I'm going to pull that up so you guys can listen to it. So I assume that here it is. I'll get you caught up right after we share this. Let me just make sure I'm not sharing anything here. Okay, that should be fun. Just as one more update, no, if you're late, no, I have not talked to the lawyer personally yet, but I'll explain my thought process after we listen to this in terms of why I've done what I've done.
I received a phone call from you regarding Eddie Lynn. I'm calling you on Friday, the 14th of February. It's about 5.
So that's Valentine's Day.
5:37 Eastern.
5:37 Eastern time. By the way, that's the lawyer's voice. Like 100%, that's the lawyer. He has a very unique cadence to the way he speaks. And once I play the other clip I have of him, you'll be able to tell that's him.
We can try to set up a time tomorrow afternoon, Saturday, or next week to discuss your questions on behalf of Eddie or with Eddie. Again, my number 7, Colonel Retired Larry Youngner. Thank you.
Holy shit, chat. Even listening to it is like, I don't even know, man. The way he says Eddie, 100% it's him. 100%. If it, like, guys, yeah, I guess it's hard for people who are outsiders to understand if you haven't really been researching as much as we have for the last year and a half. But we know that all his family and friends called him Eddie Lynn. So, like, his lawyer calling him Eddie Lynn, like, that's actually his lawyer. You just heard his voice on there. So I heard that and I'm just like, oh my God, like, what? You actually talked? And here's the kicker. By the time this conversation happened on Saturday night with this guy on Twitter, he had already spoken to the lawyer on Saturday. He had already spoken to him. He had already spoken to the lawyer. So everything had already, like, happened. And he's claiming, now this is the part where he's claiming this, so we have to take this with a pinch of salt. But his story kind of adds up with the way he describes it, is that, as I mentioned in the first post, he said he asked the lawyer about the stereoscopic satellite video. Now, this actually is interesting. This is one of those misconceptions that I say about you guys, where, like, you guys don't quite understand the nuance of the case as much as, like, me, for example. Which is like the fact that this right here is if you go look at the Wayback Machine, this is what you find. But, like, there's the widescreen version of it that I normally show is also out there. Like, it's hard to describe, but they're both uploaded on the same channel, like in the archive, in the Wayback Machine. So this one is actually stereoscopic. Like, you can literally turn this into 3D, which is amazing, because if the original was stereoscopic, no way anybody faked it. Impossible. There's no such thing as a stereoscopic military fake hoax video. People got to, like, literally check themselves with that. But at the same time, who cares? I don't care about that. I don't care whether or not the original video was stereoscopic. If Edward Lynn leaked the videos, it doesn't matter if it was originally stereoscopic or not, right? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Makes no difference at all. The whammy footage was 3D stereoscopic or not, I don't care. If Edward Lynn says he leaked the videos, it, you know, surpasses, none of that even matters anymore. But the craziest part is that apparently he just, let me go to the full post here. He knew what the video, basically, like, the guy's context is that it sounds like he knew exactly what video he was talking about. But, like, yeah, I think it was pretty much just the first minute. Yeah, so the other thing he told me that he didn't tell you guys yesterday, he confirmed the satellite video, but he never said the word stereoscopic. He says, I told the word stereoscopic. He said he didn't correct me on that, though. So the way the conversation seems to have gone down is that he said, hey, you know, what can you tell me about stereoscopic satellite video? Okay, here we go. Here's the full story this guy said. Now, keep in mind, guys, this guy has only told this story in DMs to me. So if you were to catch him in a lie out there saying something contrary to this, here you go. But this guy also corrected and said Larry Youngner did not say stereoscopic satellite. Okay, he didn't say that. Only this guy said that. I spoke to Larry Youngner, the lawyer that formerly represented Lieutenant Commander Edward Lynn. I said I was interested in confirming from Lynn authenticity of evidence in the case. He said there was a lot of evidence, a lot of which is publicly available. He said he wanted more info on me, though, and who I'm working for. I quickly told him what crucial piece of evidence I was interested in, a stereoscopic satellite video, and he interrupted me mid-sentence and said, I understand exactly what piece of video evidence you're talking about. There was a satellite video evidence the feds brought into the case, quote unquote, and that he would surely try to forward my question I had to Lynn through him or his sister. quickly and completely forgetting his query into my background. Ooh. I have to screenshot this too for you guys. Shit is getting real, chat. There it is. If you don't believe me. Faith, soap, and charity. Thank you for taking us on this journey with you. So this is part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Some people will say, why are you showing all this? Like, there are a lot of people that would just sit on this or what have you. But part of it, this journey, is us doing it together, all of you guys at the same time in real time. And the other part of it is it needs to be airtight in terms of there can be no way anyone can claim that I was pranking this or making this up or anything related to any of the stuff that's happening. There has to be no way that anybody can make up a story like that. And the only way to accomplish that is I have to show all my cards face up on the table all the time throughout the whole process of this story, start to finish. And if that means that it may be difficult for me to now talk to Larry Youngner because I've had this live stream or what have you, have shown this stuff, doesn't matter. We have to go about it this way. And if he's out there listening, please, sir, my only intentions, I have to know the truth. I have to know if I know Edward Lynn leaked the videos. I just need him to tell me. And I don't even need him to tell me. I don't need him to violate his NDA. I just need him to tell me where he was on March 8th, 2014. I just need him to tell me about MH370. That's it. Just need to have a normal conversation with him. There are ways where we can communicate that will not violate any agreements that he signed as part of his plea deal. That's why it's vitally important, because the reality is I can help Edward Lynn. I can help him. He might not think I can help him, but I can help him. Social media is the #1 weapon. It's kryptonite. Social media is kryptonite to the deep state. The one thing that makes it difficult for them to establish fake narratives and lies is social media and authenticity. I can protect Edward Lynn. I can protect him. And they're not going to do anything to him while I'm looking for him. Because if anything were to happen to him, this whole thing is going to go crazy. If anything happened to Edward Lynn, I would literally go to the crime scene and I would live there for as long as the investigation went, cataloging every single piece of evidence and anything related to whatever happened to him. You get what I'm saying? You're going to get caught. So if stuff like this happens, and then the other side of it is this, is that, thank you very much for this donation, by the way. We don't need PIs at the moment, and I don't want you guys all going rogue either. I don't want you guys going rogue. The more people that are out there harassing these people, that's the last thing in the world that I want. What I want, if you do want to help and you are insistent in doing so, what I want is for you to put me in direct touch with Edward Lynn's sister or the lawyer or himself. That's it. That's all I want. I don't need you guys to go there. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but that's all I want. Okay? I need to hear it from them directly so that I can say that the videos are real and this is all real and we've proven it, whatever, right? That's what I need. Now, what was I going to say? So, yeah, because this is something that's so huge, this is the other reason why it must be fully transparent. It's no egg disclosure bullshit that we're doing right here, right? This is a real UFO whistleblower, Edward Lynn is. The fact that the lawyer said that satellite video was brought into the case by the feds, you guys not, like, if that's real, if the lawyer really said that, game over. I don't need any, but that's all I need to hear. If he's willing to say that, that's enough to prove the videos are real. Do you guys realize that? No one knew satellite video existed when I discovered that it did in 2023, in October of 2023, when we first discovered satellite video that was actually real. No one knew whammy footage existed until like 4 months ago, unless you were literally like in special ops or whatever the heck they use, Intel, whoever uses that. And the lawyers just randomly saying that the feds brought satellite video into the case. The debunkers still don't understand how satellite video works. Today, right now, they still don't understand it. They think you're looking through optical telescopes and it's taking pictures while it's flying at 17,000 miles an hour. Well, I mean, technically, it might be. But the way that it's producing the video is not that way at all. It's producing those videos using software, rendering them together. So, guys, that's the just such a huge revelation. So, and if he's willing to say that, then why he needs to talk to me. Edward Lynn needs to talk to me. If Edward Lynn doesn't have an NDA or something, if Edward Lynn comes out as a whistleblower, he's a real UFO whistleblower. Real one. Even if the videos aren't aliens, that actually works out better. Because the number one question everyone's going to say is, where did we get that technology from? They're going to say, you're telling me we've got plasma orbs that can circle around in a triangle formation and make planes teleport away. It's a little bit beyond what we call human technology at the moment. Right? You get what I'm saying? Yeah, the bingo card's filling up quickly. Okay, so you guys heard his voice. I want to play, before people start to forget what his voice sounds like, I want to play this other clip of him. So there's only like one clip of his voice.
We've maintained that he was never a spy. I was quite concerned when the case started that someone attributed to government sources that Lieutenant Commander Lynn had been spying for China or had allegedly traded sex for secrets. That was never the case. What this did was set the record straight. Eddie Lynn had never spied against the United States. He had no intention ever to harm the United States or to help a foreign country.
A judge.
What? Chat. I cannot be more certain on this. I cannot be more certain. I don't know how I'm the only one who sees it. How is there not media hounding people to figure out the answer here? How are people really trying to gaslight people to say that Edward Lynn's not related to the MH370 videos? The lawyer just said there was never any evidence he was spying. This was never sex for secrets. That was all complete bullshit. And yet, so let's just figure out all the evidence that we were told supposedly exists that this guy's a spy was all bullshit. All bullshit. And yet, even after the plea deal, did he get a slap on the wrist? No. They went all in on him. 9 years in prison for 2 charges of dissemination of classified information. And when he appealed it, they said it doesn't matter that it's disproportionate to what other people got. What you did was super serious. And it was. When they reviewed what it was that Edward Lynn did, it triggered a national security alert at the highest levels of the Pentagon. Let me say that again. For the people that are still trying to sow some bullshit that Edward Lynn, like, he was just sleeping with some prostitute telling her secrets or some crap like that. No, you don't go to prison for 9 years for telling your mistress some rumors. It has to be hard evidence. Nothing else could be that damaging. So what is it that he leaked that damaged national security, that everyone was looking into him like that? And why did nobody really look? And then why is the lawyer saying that they brought satellite video into the case? Whatever he did, he got those videos out. And what I'd be very curious to find out. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I thanked you for this. Truth teller. Thank you very much, sir. Or ma'am. I want to know his side of the story on it. The reason is this, guys. I've never been a person here I've never been the person that said this is exactly how it went down. I'm not like that one guy who says the Galactic Federation took the plane and that they're in cahoots with the government or whatever, that he pretends to know exactly how everything's happened. I've never been that person. What I've said is, here's the evidence. The only story that makes sense to me is an espionage event, but there could be a rescue element to it. Seems extremely unlikely. And that's just based on the evidence. But what I'd want to know is, like, when Edward Lynn was there that night, was this actually a rescue operation, or, you know, was he part of some covert operation that was teleporting the plane away? Who knows? Maybe he'll say that blue aliens took the plane away. Who knows? I want to hear his side of the story. That's what I want to hear. And then I also want to hear of, like, what was the overall story for what happened with this plane? Like, how close were we on we set the fire and blah, blah, blah. And how did the videos leak? How did that? Because I can't really explain it, but I don't think Edward Lynn directly leaked the videos. I think that Edward Lynn showed somebody the videos and then that person leaked them or something like that. And it seems like the kind of thing where, like, he recorded them because he cropped all the other stuff out and he wanted to, like, show his buddy how the aliens might have zapped the plane away or something. And he was like, hey, I was on this spy plane and the alien zapped the plane away, right? And then the buddy immediately posted online because the buddy's like, that's the missing airliner, right? That's kind of how I feel like it played out, but I'd want to hear his perspective on, like, what happened, because it felt like when you look into his case, it seems like he got kind of caught off guard. Like, he didn't think he did anything wrong. And then he finds out, oh, yeah, I'm screwed. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm screwed. I did, like, the worst possible thing. So we'll see. And I feel like I feel like I've nailed it here. I don't know how else to say it. It's not a matter of ego or hubris, or it's just like somehow just old school investigative journalism. And what I'll tell you guys, I'm actually starting to get afraid that I'm actually right. For the first time, I'm actually afraid that I'm right. I may wonder, what do you mean? Haven't you always said you're right? Mostly, not always, but for a long time now, I've known that the videos are real. But to actually, like, be on the precipice where it becomes, like, real, where you have, like, a person who's willing to actually say that they leaked the videos and they're actually the person that leaked them, just like you suspected. Because the implications of those videos, like, I know we joke around a lot. I know we do memes a lot and what have you. But that's just to achieve our goal. Our goal is disclosure on our terms and free energy for everybody. But man, the implications of this being real are very big. No, I've always been scared for the person who's there. Who's saying that? I've always been scared. Well, I'm the guy telling you guys that this is a doomsday weapon and that this is the end of the world. I enjoy living on this planet. I don't want it to end immediately. So the question for me then is, like, how quickly after this becomes public knowledge is the world destroyed? 10 years? 100 years? 10 months? 10 minutes? That's the big question. How much time? What's the clock when it becomes public knowledge that we have free energy plasma balls that can annihilate the planet? You know? I don't want to be right. The truth is, I don't want to be right. I really don't. Part of me wants to be right because, hey, man, free energy is awesome. We can do Star Trek stuff. But the other part of me goes, man, I keep thinking there's a real good reason why they went to all this effort to hide it. Like, the amount of effort that's gone into, just to look at it like this, guys. Think about how much effort has gone in just to hide the plane. Just to hide the plane. And then think about the amount of effort to hide free energy from the world for the last 80 years and UFOs and aliens and whatever other shit they're hiding. They've been hiding this stuff for a long time, and they've been doing it very, very successfully. And then now we just came along and just, like, caught them with their pants down, out there like married and like having a, secret relationship with someone else. Like it's a scenario where no one would ever have expected it. And this is why if you saw my TikTok video that was going viral about my life being in danger, it's funny. One of the biggest criticisms I get is people say, if you were right, there's no way you'd be alive right now. But then when I make a video where it's like, my life might be in danger if these videos are real, people are like, yeah, it's being sensationalist. Not really. Not really. I do wonder, I think that the social media presence helps, but I also do think that the big part of it is that there is a track for this stuff coming out, a plan. And at some point it becomes counterproductive to silence people who are already helping you out, helping to wake people up. So truthfully, I want to go on less podcasts. It is extremely exhausting. And I'm only doing this, and especially when I do other people's podcasts, I'm really only doing them as a favor in a lot of cases because of just how big my following and you guys have gotten. It's just, it's more beneficial for me to do live streams and spend my time wisely talking with you guys and educating you guys on some of the science and stuff. Now, today we're talking a little bit about the case, but we are going to jump into some science here in a minute. Now, I want to show you, let's see, not that one, another video here. I don't know which one of these. I think it's this one. This one kind of goes over.
Is considering espionage charges against one of its officers suspected of spying for Taiwan and possibly China.
Okay, so here's another thing I want to point out to you guys. And then I'll let this whole thing play out. Like, guys, I cannot be more certain Edward Lynn's the guy. Let me just say this again. I have never met Edward Lynn. Today is, I don't know, February 17th, 2025. I've never met Edward Lynn. I've never talked to Edward Lynn. I've never communicated with anybody directly associated with Edward Lynn in my life. I independently identified Lieutenant Commander Edward C. Lynn, somebody nobody knew who he was, ever heard his name before. I'm the one who's made his name popular because I found him using my own investigative research. Nobody helped me on. I did it all by myself, October of 2023. Identified him, extreme high degree of probability as the guy that leaked the videos. That's how certain I am, based on the body of knowledge about his case, that not only can I identify what it is that he leaked, I know exactly what he leaked and why the government went after him. And I can tie him to MH370. I can tie him to the missing Malaysian airliner that disappeared 11 years ago. And now, almost a year and a half later, we are on the precipice of talking to his lawyer, of there being a chance where he just comes out and admits Ashton Forbes was right. I'm the guy that leaked the videos. If that happens, how can anyone deny the authenticity of the videos? That's one of the three things. When I was on Candace Owens, if somebody can find the clip, somebody go check the transcript of the Candace Owens and look for, I say something about, do a keyword search on like the word 3 or something. So there's 3 ways you can prove the videos are real. One of them is Edward C. Lynn comes out and admits he leaked the videos, because I'm the only one who identified him as being connected to the videos. No one else on planet Earth did. And I've never known the man. So if he were to come out, that's proof the videos are real. You can't make fake videos that link back to a real guy that leaked them. Get what I'm saying? That would mean all the debunks, no matter what logic was used, no matter what tortured logic was used to fake fabricated debunks, they were all fake. That would mean everybody that tried to debunk the videos, they're all con men and fraudsters. Every single one. All the Redditors, all the people on Twitter, the Mick West, the Corridor crew, all the people that made videos saying that they could make the videos and all this other bullshit, all of them would be con men. And it would mean also that all the people that investigate MH370 are all incompetent except for like a couple. That is there. Let me put it this way. There are a lot of reasons for people to need these videos to be fake. There are a lot of reasons for people to need Edward Lin to not come out and say he's the one who leaked these videos. Because that'll just be straight up GG for a lot of people out there. And here's the sad news, guys. I already know the videos are real. I've known the videos are real for a long time. There's more stuff that maybe as time goes on, I'll be able to say more stuff that I haven't been able to say about it too. But and the only reason why I don't is because I don't want to like get people and sources and stuff like that in trouble for some of the stuff that I've kind of seen that like there's only it'll definitely get back to the people who've given information. I mean, stuff like that. But in cases where it doesn't, then there's no problem. But there is a good argument to be made for why we have to wait for this technology and why the government came down so hard on Edward Lin. Is that not only this technology, like it literally is a national security issue. I don't even argue that it's not national security. Of course it's national security. We're talking about, we got teleporting orbs. Well, what do you think? China, Russia, they're not a threat to us. We have teleporting orbs. Like, are you kidding me? We've got literal Mega Man powers and shit like that going on. You think that we're afraid of Russia and China? No, I mean, you look at the world in a different way where like the United States is just this like, mafia that controls the entire planet, basically. So yeah, it is national security, but like, here's the thing, guys. You get to a point, and yes, this is a rare peek behind the green door. Like we are never going to see footage like this again. You guys understand how sensitive like the MH370 videos are from a technology or whatever, ops perspective that we did to China? We're never going to see that again. But it gets to a point where technology gets like too far advanced where you actually just have like, a duty to humanity to reveal the technology to the world. Like you can't just have free energy technology and be like, oh, we're just going to keep that secret because it's not in the profit motives for my business. And this is where the big issue has been a matter of incentive structures. If the corporations have no incentive structure to reveal free energy and plasma orb technology that can teleport planes, then we got to fix the system. Then the system is broken. Like there should be like hey, if you invent magical technology where we can teleport and have free energy, like, okay, there should be a rule where like now you have to tell the world about it. Maybe we'll compensate you a bunch of money or something. But like that doesn't exist. And so because of that, we've got this corrupt ass system where people are doing research that is meaningless research, getting paid huge amounts of money versus research that would change the planet gets nothing. Okay. So let's go back to this. So the reason why I went on that rant is because I want you to understand how connected Edward Lin was. Listen to this video. I'm going to let it play out here and pay attention that this is not some random grunt. This guy was trusted with the top secrets. He was trusted with nukes. This guy, whatever he went away for, it had to be huge. Plus, they loved him. To push this guy in the positions that Edward Lin got. It had to be a dagger in their heart to charge him. Because they probably knew he's a good guy. He didn't mean to like harm the US government. He didn't know. I mean, nobody could look at those videos and have any idea what the hell is going on especially in 2014. No way. No one on this planet you could show those videos to in 2014 is going to have any idea what the hell they're looking at or think it's real. So here we go. Listen to his background.
The officer has been in the brig since his arrest in September. David Martin at the Pentagon is following this.
Investigators suspect Lieutenant Commander Lynn started spying in 2012 when he was assigned to the Pentagon as a Navy liaison officer to Capitol Hill. In that job, he had access to details of the Navy's present and future spending plans. In 2014, he was transferred to Hawaii, where he joined the Special Projects Patrol Squadron, a secretive unit which flies high-priority electronic eavesdropping missions off the coast of China and other countries in the Pacific. In that job, he had first-hand knowledge of sensitive intelligence operations.
Okay, we got to pause it right there. He was the liaison to he was the Navy's liaison to Congress in 2012. He had access to the classified budget from the U.S. Navy. Basically, Edward Lynn was the guy they trusted to say, hey, we need that money for our plasma orb technology, but we can't tell the public about it. So we need Congress to sign off on these black projects for money for classified purposes. That's what they trusted Edward Lynn with. That's what he was in 2012. Now, this video was once they revealed the case. Keep in mind, he had been locked up for 8 months before they even said anything about his case. Do you guys understand that? Wait, let me just clarify what I just said. They didn't even reveal that this guy was in custody until after they already announced what the charges were going to be. He was in pre-trial detainment for 8 months. 8 months before the world had any idea he was even locked up. Before the world had any idea he was locked up. Why would you do that? Why would you lock somebody up and say nothing about it for 8 months? Think about that, chat. Use your brain. You do that because you're terrified of whatever information they have going to the media. That's the reason. That's the only reason. The government admitted this was the case. The government was terrified of the case going to trial. They were afraid that Edward Lynn was going to, if I'm correct, which I'm very, very confident I'm correct, they were terrified Edward Lynn was going to go in court, in trial, stand up and go, I leaked the MH370 videos. The U.S. Navy used 3 orbs and zapped the plane away, and the world has no idea. The videos are available online. You can find them on the Regicide Anon YouTube channel. Can you imagine if Edward Lynn stood up and said that in the middle of a trial? It wouldn't even be about the trial anymore. People would immediately go find those videos and go, what? What did that guy just say in court? You guys get it? That's the game we're playing right now. This is the highest level stakes ever. This isn't even really the game. This is real life. But it's playing out just like a movie. Why try to break him? They have to break him. That's the only play they have. Their only play was to psychologically break him, and that's what they did. They had to psychologically break Edward Lynn. So how do you do that? You abuse him in pretrial detainment. Those 8 months, they abused the shit out of him. They abused him the whole time he was in pretrial detainment, said he's a traitor. You know, they did the thing, this is hyperbole, but they did the thing where they, put the potatoes or the oranges in a sack and they hit you with it so it doesn't leave any bruises. Like, that's what they were doing to him. And they forced him to basically admit that what he did was wrong. They were going to probably kill him. It wouldn't surprise me if they said they were going to kill him. You get it? In fact, I think they did say that, those exact words. I'd have to go look because he actually complained about the abuse. That's how I know about it. You guys can find all this. It's all publicly available. Anything that I tell you guys about this case is all you can find it. If you're good enough at Google and change your date range, search it around, you can all find it. You can find all this information. That's what's amazing about this case. All publicly available stuff. Okay. Let me hit up a couple more of these donations. Edward Lynn t-shirt. Maybe, actually. Maybe a pardon Edward Lynn. Maybe. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Sasa. And thank you, B. Ga Wild. Green Plastic 69. Recent plane accident made to downplay. It's too far. Too far. I'm not one of those people where like everything's connected and everything's to downplay something else. Let's finish this. Oh yeah. Also, and then here's the other thing. I need to point out one more very important fact. So if you're listening tonight, guys, to this live stream, please share the correct information with people out there. Okay. There is no chance that Edward Lynn was being seriously investigated before February of 2014. Listen up closely, debunkers. Listen very, very closely. There is no chance that Edward Lynn was being seriously investigated before February of 2014. We can say this is a fact. Why? Because Edward Lynn in 2014 of February was assigned the VPU-2 Wizards, which is one of the most secretive spy plane programs, if it's not the most secret spy plane program that the Navy has. You don't go on to super secret spy plane programs where you have access to like the most secret sensitive sensor information and legal operations if you are being suspected of being a spy. You don't get assigned to projects like that when you're suspected of being a spy. And these are the kinds of situations where you're probably being like actively monitored, where like literally everywhere you go and everything you do, like you have to sign stuff that says there you have no privacy. I'm being 100% serious. This is what they do. So there is no chance that Edward Lynn was being seriously investigated before February of 2014. And why is that important? Because what happened in March of 2014, the next month? MH370 disappears. And then Edward C. Lynn's lawyer says that the investigation began April 2nd, 2014. April 2nd, 2014. 3 weeks after the plane disappears. So now imagine if I can get Larry Youngner, the same guy that already said that, to affirm and confirm that the case and what's the circumstances on why he said April 2nd, 2014. Because if we can confirm that the evidence in the case against him was related to his time in the VPU-2 Wizards, game over. Game over. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? How many different ways do we have to confirm the videos are real? If the case against him is related to the VPU-2 Wizards, game over. We win. We don't even need Edward Lynn to say he leaked the videos. Imagine if I asked Larry Youngner this, and I will talk to him. So if anyone's out there thinking of trying to make him so he won't talk to me, I will go find him in person if I have to. In fact, I might just go do that. So you can't stop me from talking to this guy. So please don't. What if I ask him, hey, is there also like a thermal drone video related to this as well from like when he was on a spy plane? Imagine if he says there's a thermal drone video and a satellite video. Game over. Game over. We don't need anything more than that. Do you realize how close we are right now? We are so close, man. And some people might actually say, well, Ashton's kind of gone all in on the Edward Lynn. Like, yeah, because he's got to be the guy. Those videos were leaked by a United States military personnel. I looked up like all of them. Nobody fit the bill, but this guy checks every single box. What are the chances of that? What are the chances that all the information about his stuff overlaps perfectly with the timeline of the plane disappearing? 0. What are the chances he's in the exact right position in the Navy, in the exact right military unit to have been there that night, to be able to have access to the videos? 0. He's got to be the guy. He's either the guy or he's somehow directly related to those videos. That's all I'm saying. So if anyone's out there can find Edward Lynn, once again, I just want to repeat this. Since I have not yet spoken to the lawyer and I'm a little worried that he's going to get cold feet, especially if all you guys start harassing him, please do not harass any of the people involved. If you happen to know or have contact with Edward Lynn, Edward Lynn's sister, Jenny Lynn, or Larry Youngner, the lawyer, and they are willing to talk, please put them in touch with me directly. That's all that I would ask. I need to talk to them firsthand. So it's fun for you guys to ask questions and what have you, but I have to talk to them firsthand. And ideally, what I would want is for Edward Lynn to become a whistleblower to the AARO and admit that he's the one that leaked those videos, or those videos got onto the internet through him, whatever the story might be. I don't care what the story is, frankly. And I think that if we did that, then Edward Lynn would be protected. And probably what would happen would be that I think other people would probably try to cannibalize Edward Lynn, and they would probably try to take him from me and steal the story or what have you. And the truth is, I don't care. I don't care about that. As long as that the videos are proven true, and my theory about MH370 is admitted to be real or whatever, or not my theory, but our theory, our evidence that we put forward. I don't give a shit about anything else, period. Done. I'll shut it all down. Shut down the YouTube channel, shut down my X channel. I'll just go back to being a healthcare consultant, and then I'll just have on my resume, solved the greatest mystery of all time. And it'll just be on my resume all the time. That's the one thing I get to keep. So just get him out. Get him to come talk to us. Let's get this thing on this thing on the road. Also, guys, let me hit a couple of these donos. Then we're going to talk about the UFO community, okay? Oh, is there more in this? I think there was more to this that we got to play. I'm going to play this out while I do the donos.
According to heavily redacted court documents, Lynn passed information classified secret to representatives of a foreign government. The documents do not name any country, but investigators believe he was passing classified information to both mainland China and the island of Taiwan. That would amount to playing both sides of the street, since Taiwan is an American ally, while China is increasingly an adversary. Lynn was born in Taiwan, but left at the age of 14, speaking only Chinese. He became a U.S. citizen and enlisted in the Navy, training to serve aboard nuclear-powered submarines. But then he switched specialties to become a naval flight officer in a reconnaissance squadron. Throughout his career, he had access to sensitive information, one officer said. The Navy showcased him as a coming-to-America success story, and he once told an audience, "I grew up believing that all the roads in America lead to Disneyland."
Instead, they led to a Navy brig in Virginia, where he's being held until the Navy decides whether it has enough evidence to court-martial him.
Spoiler, they didn't really, so they had to do a plea deal. Okay, let me do these donations real quick. Ian, thank you very much for that super sticker. All day, every day, thank you very much. You as well. Lil Lund, thank you for that super sticker. Appreciate it. ML, is a ship a good place to keep and secure interdimensional FedEx? Yeah, so the Alabama Maersk, check out my live streams where we talked about that. Maybe that's where the batteries came from. I'm not sure. Yeah, could be related to Tesla. Noah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ace. Yeah, electrical engineering is definitely. Why is it better? Because electrical engineering is more experimental versus physics is more theoretical. And experiment will beat theory every time. I think the thing that's held us back is that physicists have said that certain stuff's not possible, and engineers have shown that it is. There are a number of experiments that I talk about all the time where theoretical physicists just haven't reconciled them into their worldview. It's a big problem. Okay. The UFO community, this is what I'm going to say. I have no enemies. Even people that blocked me, even people that I blocked, I don't care. If you want to report on MH370, report on MH370. The MH370 videos and Edward Lynn are going to be a hot commodity because all the rest of UFO disclosure is basically garbage right now. It's just slop. What is even happening right now? Why is there this weird shift into psi powers and interdimensional bullshit? Let's just get off all that for a second and let's go back to the core of this. Where that we have some technology comes from somewhere, and that technology will change the world. Everybody wants to change the world. Let's focus on changing the world. Then we can worry about if it's interdimensional or the blue ETs from Zeta Reticuli or whatever else shit. I mean, it's just crazy. I can't believe this. Or like, yeah, which ones have the telepathic powers or whatever. There's like absolutely no, like nobody's coming forward with any hard evidence. There's no more Tic Tac videos. Nobody's coming out with that. And all these people are like getting their shit Dopser reviewed. It's the biggest scam disclosure in the world. If you've got to get your shit Dopser reviewed to make sure the DOD's okay with you talking about something, you're not giving us disclosure of anything. Why do you have to get a signature of your things okay to talk about? Does that mean that there's elements that you can't talk about? If so, how is this disclosure? Giving someone half disclosure is just like the biggest bullshit blue balls there is. Jeez. Okay. So people need to wake up. UFO community needs to wake up. I mean, we've seen it happen. A lot of them are already changing their tune. We're hearing them talk about how this dark thing now is related to technology. It's really related to 0-point energy. That's what we've been saying for this whole time. That's great. I don't even care if you don't want to credit me. I don't care if you want to steal Talking Points. If you want to steal a cold fusion was like, covered up. Great. Please do. Can we hurry this process along a little bit? Let's not pretend like there's something better to talk about. There's definitely not. And I've noticed now as well that like there's this thing where all these disclosure people like start these funds up where they're all just fundraising for them to be a influencer or something like that. If you don't even have enough content coming out that you can't support yourself, then just get off the stage. Like, what are you actually doing? I'm a normal dude as my second job. And I'm almost getting to the point. Well, not really. Let's not say almost. Let's not say almost. There might be a future in which I have enough content where I can support myself off this. Get out there. Put yourself out there. If you really think that you want to be an advocate for a UFO disclosure, get out there on social media because you know what? That's what this job is. That's what this job is. Being an influencer, being an advocate for disclosure. It's not just having someone sign off when the next time you get to go on Joe Rogan is. That's how these people think of it. Is like, well, my PR person is going to get me on the Daily Show, and then I'm going to go, after I do the Daily Show, I'm going to go on News Nation, and then I'm going to go with an interview with Ross Coulthart, and then I'm going to go on Joe Rogan, and on all of these, I'm going to go out there and just say that aliens are real. Okay. That's what we've got. That's our big thing for disclosure. I tell you what, we've got 2 videos of a plane being teleported out of the sky where there's literally a plane still missing. This literal plane is still missing. And the United States government did it, and they recorded it, and we caught them in 4K. And also, we got the leaker as well, a guy named Edward Lin. He might be willing to just admit it at this point. I mean, you got to imagine somebody watched this and knows the truth, the guilt that goes through them every day. To not say that what they know about this plane disappeared. Can we talk about that? Like everybody's so polarized against me because I hurt their feelings. Well, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but truth hurts, man. A lot of the people in the UFO community are frauds. Complete frauds. A lot of people in the physics community and the academia, they're all frauds as well. It just is what it is, man. A lot of people are just full of shit out there all the time. Right? And it turns out a lot of people are going to look like fools. But you know what? After we get through that, the world's going to be a better place. And then we can move on and we can actually do something productive, or we can make humanity actually progress to where we really should be in this day and age. Now, the next thing I wanted to show is something that I was showing on my Twitter page. Because I want you guys to see, now we're going to this is going to be a clever shift into the academic and then to the science side of this. Sabine Hassenfelder, chat. Sabine Hassenfelder, if you're out there, I don't even care if you hate me. I don't even care if you hate me because I'm beautiful, Sabine. You have been chosen. Sabine Hassenfelder, you have been
brain. Your problem isn't that
witchcraft. You saw that witchcraft. That thing just turned on automatically. We've confirmed that Sabine has witch powers now as well. Sabine, you have been chosen as the 0 point energy disclosure advocate. I don't care if you believe in it or not. I don't care if you believe. You will believe. I have seen the future. I have seen the future. And in the future, Sabine is basically the equivalent of one of those post-apocalyptic like raiders who's got like the leather going on and like a battle axe, just chopping people's heads off. That's the future that I see for Sabine. And just imagine the people who's getting their heads chopped off are all the quack ass academics that have been telling us that space is empty and yeah, we just can't explain things like the Casimir effect and three body problem. They're just unsolvable mysteries, dude. Some of you are saying that she might be too woke. Chat. She's the perfect person. Chat. I'm basically like the Sith Lord. You have to find the one that you can corrupt. Sabine can come over to the dark side. I see it. You guys, some of you guys are like, there's no chance. She's like the biggest skeptic out there. There's no way. I even DM'd her. I'm not going to show the DMs out of respect, but I DM'd her to try to get her to come on my podcast and what have you. She gave me the hard no. Well, no, she just basically told me she likes to see evidence, which is totally fair. Totally fair. So the reason why, I'm just going to play the clip. But before I play that clip, I want you guys to realize what you're going to hear here is a person that is ready. They're ready to be corrupted, right? It's like Anakin. When Anakin's mother gets killed, chat, Star Wars spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Anakin's mother gets killed. He loses his shit. Just murders a whole village of people, even the younglings and all. Just starts going to town on people. Sabine is like right on the precipice of that happening. Like she sees that it's all bullshit, but she hasn't hit that point where she's had that traumatic event. And it could happen. It could happen. So here we go. Let's play this out. And you tell me, I mean, just listen to this. Listen, this is why she's been chosen, chat.
Making noise. Your use your fucking brain.
Right there. That was enough right there. In fact, I just kind of want this on like a clip that I can just play this repeatedly.
Use your fucking brain.
Someone just clip that for me? That part right there.
Use your fucking brain.
Already right there. Beautiful. I might as well be listening to Son Te Partiro right now. Like this is just opera. This is music to my ears, this whole thing.
Your problem isn't that I'm making noise. Your problem is that you're lying to the people who pay you. Your problem is that you're cowards without a shred of scientific integrity. I don't think that taxpayers are stupid. We're not paying physicists for crazy new hype. We want to see results. And soon taxpayers will start asking some tough questions. An example. So they told you that this Dune experiment that's being built from some billions of dollars of public funds at Fermilab will tell us why we exist or why the universe didn't disappear. I regret to inform you that it won't do any such thing. Particle physicists have created these bubbles of useless research. It's not a problem that can be fixed from inside the community. The only way to fix the problem is to stop paying them. If you are one of the many physicists who know full well what nonsense research I'm talking about, but you still keep your mouth shut. If you're one of those who laugh about me because no one believes what I'm saying, if you're one of those who spread lies about me, like that story that I was invited to give a talk at CERN but was afraid to go, did you make that up? I hope it was amusing, but Jesus.
Dark Sabine, chat. Holy crap. I have not seen Dark Sabine in a while. Wow. She was cooking, chat. Why doesn't she do that more often? My goodness. Anybody doubts that Sabine is the one? Get out right now. Don't follow me anymore. No question. She's the one. Hook this woman up with a red lightsaber and just let her go to town, chat. Let her just destroy the Jedi. We've got it figured out. This is the play. I'm 100% sure she's the one that will turn against the Jedi and destroy them all. And the best part is when they destroy the Jedi, it just destroys the whole foundation of the whole Jedi culture. Sends the last Jedi in the corners of the world, and the Sith just take over the entire, whatever, galactic civilization or whatever shit they do. So, oh yeah. We just have to figure it out, what it is that's going to get Sabine to go just full on Anakin Skywalker on the mud people or whatever weird village people he destroys. Whew. Chat, I kind of want to listen to it again. This was like right around the middle here too. Oh, the only thing she was wrong about when she was saying that the taxpayers, I don't think taxpayers are stupid. Now, taxpayers are stupid as shit. Taxpayers are stupid as shit. Yeah, we are really dumb. In fact, we've been wasting money on a lot of nonsense physics like CERN as well. And oh, the part where here she says, I love how she's like, oh, they told you that if we make this weird neutrino experiment, it's going to tell you the meaning of life. Yeah, this isn't going to do shit. How much money is this going to cost? Why are we spending money on this when we can have plasma orbs? I don't know how much this costs, but I'm just going to guess like $10 billion for this. How about I get a free energy device? I don't need whatever the shit this is. What is this, neutrinos shit shooting through the earth or something? I don't need this. What I need is a plasma reactor in my house that's powering my entire house. You know how fucking cold it is outside right now, chat? It's like minus 20 fucking degrees outside right now where I'm at. Real talk, chat. Minnesota is cold as fuck. It's minus 20 degrees out. I need a goddamn plasma reactor that heats my whole house and powers everything. These guys are building. I didn't even know this shit was real. What is this again? Deep underground neutrino experiment. Ooh, from the Stanford Underground Research Facility to the Fermi Lab. We need to put more federal dollars into this shit because it's going to tell us why we exist. Do you really think this is going to tell us why we exist? No. You know what will tell us why we exist? Admitting that the ether is real and that space is not empty. That will tell us why we exist. That'll actually maybe give us a clue as to our consciousness. This just funds people to do nothing for another 25 years. That's what this is. That's what the CERN is. That's what all these public bullshit science things are. I'll take the glasses off in a second, but I saw my boy in the chat. Oh, okay. Wool Johnson. Man, some of you guys have really good names. Thank you for the super sticker, my friend. Mulla Viking. What about Pierre-Marie Robitaille or Alexander Unzicker? Wouldn't they be great advocates as well? Possibly. There probably are other people. And this is somewhat, tongue-in-cheek. But Sabine will be good. She'll be very good. She's got a lot of influence as well. Mark Scott, there you are. Thank you, brother. You're the man. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Cool guy stuff. Ed Lynn is now going by an alias. He's opened a new business, is living his best life. I have phone numbers. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Ed Lynn should reach out to me. That's what he should be doing. That's what he should be doing. Whether or not he leaked the videos or not, he should be reaching out to me. If he didn't leak the videos, then we need to have a talk because it seems like he leaked the videos. And if he did leak the videos, then we definitely need to talk because he should be famous, not Lou Elizondo, not Jake Barber, not even David Grush. The real whistleblower, by all definitions, is Edward Lynn. Guy should be world famous. And that's my plan. So I will also undo the brainwashing that the government assuredly did to this man, convincing him that he's some kind of traitor, some bullshit like that, whatever, because he leaked videos of their secret orbs or whatever. Fuck that, bro. If they've got magic orb technology that can teleport airplanes, no. You leaking that is not a crime. No, hell no. Court of public opinion No. Leaking free energy technology makes you a hero in any movie that they ever make. Martin Walsh, out of everything you know, what percentage are you actually telling us? Oh, I'm telling you guys like 95 to 99% of everything that I know. So I'm not one of those people that's out here like, you know, if anything is like actually super significant, I let you know. So you guys know pretty much as I do. The only difference is the body of knowledge. I mean, when you go on like hundreds of podcasts or whatever shit that I've been gone on, like you memorize all this stuff. Okay, let's finish this. How come it's not
public
playing?
funds
Oh wait, no, I already played this. What am I doing? Okay, yeah, sorry. God, I'm an idiot. Too distracted. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, and then she basically just calls them out as basically being scammers, but also not just being scammers, but that they are like, she thinks they're starting rumors about her, which kind of reminds me of the UFO community and all the, oh, you're spreading disinformation. People are saying that Red Panda in the UFO community is disinformation. Oh, these people, this is what cracks me. Sorry, I want to talk about one more thing real quick. Disinformation. This is what cracks me up. It's like the government is pretty incompetent. Like they think that red panda koala is like some kind of like Russian psyop or something. Like people literally think that. People were saying that on social media. I think it was some of the woke disclosure people were saying that because he exposes them. Because every time that they say something that incriminates them or exposes their true intentions, he posts a clip of it. And he does it like all day long. And so they think that he's like some kind of like psyop that's like collecting information against them or whatever, which in a way he kind of is. And it goes to show the power that somebody can do. And the reason why I bring this up is because people I know people have speculated similar stuff about me. Because like they didn't think that one person can do that much effort. Now, in reality, it's not just one person. All MH370X, the Discord, what have you. But the truth is you can do a lot. If you are a single guy and you don't have a family you have to take care of, and you like either, you know, you have a job or, you know, maybe you work from home or you have, you know, a part-time job or you don't have a job or you do this full-time, whatever, man, like you can put a lot of work in and you can make significant headway on a daily basis. And this is what I'm saying is that if you aren't somebody that can do what Red Panda Koala is doing, then you are not in the S tier of UFO disclosure advocates. I'm just putting that out there. Like the Lou Elizondos, the David Grush, these people, they just think that just by the fact that they're celebrity that they should, like, people should automatically listen to whatever they say. Like, put out the work. Put the content out there. Look at what Red Panda is doing. He's clipping. Here's the playbook, guys. You clip the other stuff that other people are saying that corroborates the message that you want to tell. You clip that. You put that on your social media. You add your own commentary as well. You can do video. You can voice over. You can just add text if you want in the description. Add your own commentary. That's content. I'm teaching you guys how to do it. How to become an advocate for whatever you want. Aliens, UFOs, zero-point energy, anything you want. Right? And then talk about that. Talk about the things you're passionate about. Okay. Now, the last thing I wanted to say about Sabine is this, is that Sabine is like basically realizing that COVID is a scam, but she's still getting the shots, right? That's where she's at right now with the physics. She realizes these people are getting money to do nothing. She realizes a lot of the science they've not really accomplished or had any results, right? But she's still like, oh, but general relativity is still legit, still untouchable. There's still nothing better, right? Which is hilarious. It's like thinking that COVID is a big scam, but still getting the shots. It's also like thinking that like global warming is a scam, but still like turning your lights off when you leave the house for 10 minutes because you want to save the power. Because you think that the power is like the power of the lights is going to be significant to save the earth. That's basically the view here. So the thing is, when you realize, so she's basically once again on that precipice of realizing like, oh, okay, the whole thing's a scam. Not only is academia full of shit, but people behind the scenes have actually figured out these major discoveries about the universe and anti-gravity and plasma and everything like that. So we'll see. Okay. Where are we at? 115. Well, I had a few things we were going to talk about last because I promised some science. Which thing do we want to look at? I think I want to look at fusion a little bit. Yeah, okay. So there was a new video, and actually this serves two purposes because nobody's actually ever called me out on this, but I've said multiple times that I used to just watch PBS Spacetime, and I don't think I've ever shown a PBS Spacetime video on any live stream ever. I don't think I have. And nobody's ever called me out on that. Well, too late. We're going to correct it now. Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Now it's never going to happen. So this video, actually, the PBS Spacetime people came out with a video on fusion power. Fusion power. And we're not going to talk about hot and cold, although we probably will in a little bit. But instead, we're actually going to look at this video, and it explains the concepts around fusion, and I'm just going to give some commentary. I'm going to give some commentary. Because here's the kicker, guys. We've definitely figured out, like, fusion, cold fusion, fusion stabilization, plasma, it's all been figured out. It's all been figured out, guys. Like, you really think that we've spent 70 years and not figured out fusion? Of course they've figured it out. That would be the biggest scam in the history of the world if they hadn't figured anything out. In fact, it's still the biggest scam because they covered it up. And the question is, what is cold fusion? What is cold fusion? The lines between hot and cold fusion are going to start to get really blurred. At the end of the day, we want to figure out, a lot of you want to know when I talk about cold fusion, what do I mean? What's the difference between what we're trying to do commercially and publicly versus what I'm saying that we can produce? That's what this video will help show for you guys. That's what I wanted, the context I want to give you.
And they've been saying that for 50 years. But if so, why are billions suddenly being pumped into fusion startups? Well, to train LLMs. But there's a reason that the techno brats are bullish on fusion in particular. The fact is, the technological challenges have been chipped away at, so we'll test whether increasing likes and comments impacts you can get out of life. A minuscule fraction hits our solar panels, and only today we've first plasma this year. I do want to emphasize, though, that there's a lot of exciting stuff in recent years from smaller efforts, both national.
So basically, he's saying that we're going to look at the hot fusion theories here. And so right here at the beginning, he's showing the reactions for fusion that happen in the sun. And what he explains is essentially that in order to, since we don't have the pressures that we have available on the sun, we have to actually increase the heat even more than the sun. Let me say that again, chat. This is hot fusion. Hot fusion says we can't produce the gravity and the pressure that allows fusion to happen in the sun. So how do we compensate for that? Well, we're going to increase the energy even more. We're going to actually make it even hotter than the sun. That's hot fusion. Now you know what hot fusion is. So hot fusion is actually trying to make fusion hotter than the sun to compensate for the lack of gravitational control, excess gravity and pressure. Well, what's the solution? Solution is actually obvious, isn't it? We don't need the excess heat. That was never the problem. We can manipulate gravity. And if we manipulate gravity, now we can make a small sun that's stabilized. All we have to be able to do is manipulate gravity. And how do we manipulate gravity? Dun, dun, dun. Electromagnetism, as always. Good old electromagnetism. Okay.
Sun's proton-proton chain runs at something like 100 million Earth atmospheres of pressure and over 50 million Kelvin temperature, generating the equivalent of 20 million times the entire world's nuclear arsenal in energy every second. So, the sun both crams photons together and gets them moving really fast in order to get them to stick. We need to do the same. We need to both compress and heat our nuclei. And the resulting fusion needs to output more energy than we use to reach that state. One big efficiency upgrade is to focus on the most energy-rich fusion reactions. Rather than going all the way to helium from single protons like the sun does, we can fuse heavy hydrogen isotopes like deuterium and tritium. Now, the sun can achieve net energy gain starting with protons.
So we have one benefit. We can choose what process in the fusion process we want to take advantage of. So essentially, they're saying we can take advantage of the fusion of heavy hydrogen, deuterium. And if we take advantage of that, that's potentially the most efficient chemical process to produce energy. I believe 2 deuteriums can produce helium. I don't know. My chemistry is not very good.
Because of the incredible densities it reaches, we can never achieve those densities. So even with heavy isotope fusion, we have to compensate with a lot higher temperatures. In fact, something like 100 times the temperature of the...
That shit ain't never going to happen. Boom. There it is. Hot fusion, chat. So you just heard it. How it's so goddamn easy. How have they been hiding this for so long? Chat, the simplest answer is the best. What's the answer? We don't need to increase the temperature 100 times the temperature of the sun. We don't need to do that. We can manipulate pressure and gravity the same way the sun is doing it. If you can do that, then temperature is no longer an issue. We're using the wrong variable to produce fusion because we've been brainwashed into thinking that, like, well, the universe can do gravity, but we can't. We can't do gravity. Jesus. Chat.
Core of the sun. There is no material in the universe that wouldn't be instantly vaporized at the temperatures needed for fusion. So how are we supposed to even contain our fusion reaction, let alone crush it to the needed pressures? Well, there are 2 broad approaches: inertial confinement and magnetic confinement.
Chat, I can't believe I'm doing a video live stream. One of my heroes right here. I'm literally critiquing and correcting one of my heroes on a physics live stream. If you had said that I'm doing this in 2 years, I never would have believed you. I'd have bet anything you're full of shit. Anything in the whole world. And now he's still an extremely smart guy, but the world has been misled on fusion in a very scary way. So there are 2 ways to fusion: inertial confinement and magnetic confinement. Now, with inertial confinement, in all of them, they're trying to trap the energy in a region of space. Right? That's what they're trying to do. Magnetic confinement, I believe, is like what Salvatore Pais was saying. Magnetically confined fusion reaction. I mean, that's what his patent's called, right? So using magnetic fields to compress the plasma, which, by the way, there's a large amount of people, physicists, that don't believe plasma can be compressed. That's kind of a big problem. Did you just hear what I said? If physicists don't believe plasma can be compressed, well, then how the hell can you believe fusion's going to happen? Isn't that like the whole point? Is that the pressure of the sun is what's allowing fusion to happen in a plasma? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills sometimes with these people, chat. So anyway, and then you have the inertial confinement. Now, one of these is going to use focused lasers. In fact, I'm just going to let him speak on it because I'm not too afraid of being copyright striked. Here we go.
Inertial confinement attempts to slam nuclei together with some sort of shock. In 2022, the National Ignition Facility achieved net energy output for the first time by forcing fuel together with lasers. But it's not the first inertial confinement approach to succeed. The hydrogen bomb is a type of inertial confinement where the thing slamming nuclei together is a fission bomb, an old school atomic explosion. The latter is rather uncontrolled and so not suitable for sustained energy production. But even controlled inertial confinement approaches have the issue of rather bursty energy output, and so are generally not thought to be the most likely option for our first generation commercial fusion reactors. Those are more likely to be magnetic confinement reactors. The hydrogen in a reactor is so hot that positively charged nuclei are stripped of their negatively charged electrons, making a plasma of electrically charged particles that can be manipulated by magnetic fields.
Yes, that now, sir, you are saying the words that I am enjoying hearing with my ears. Yes. Electrons being stripped from ions of hydrogen and producing plasma through magnetic confinement. These are the words that I like to be hearing. More of these words, please, good sir.
These fields are created by powerful electromagnets made from superconductors.
Oh.
And those superconductors have to be cooled to near absolute zero.
Okay.
So you have this...
Okay. Nope. Stop you. Let me stop you there, chat. Let me stop you there, Mr. I forget what's his name again. Guys, I forget what his name is. I'm just going to call him Joel. Joel, let me stop you there, Joel. No. The whole, like, let's build this huge solid structure around it and, like, make it so that we're using these superconductors that we have to cool at and use all this energy to cool down. No, you already fucked it up. You fucked it up. We can't make it work that way. Like, we are trying way too hard. If that's all that we have to go through to make fusion happen, that shit's never going to be successful. Like, the amount of energy it takes just to cool the superconductors is a lot. It's a lot of energy. So, we need either high temperature superconductors, or better off, we need a different way to do it. Now, guess what, chat? Plasma itself has self-organizing properties. And plasma is also a conductor. So what if we could make our plasma superconducting? And there's no circuit out there that can sustain massive energy levels. They all melt. So what if we just use the plasma itself as the superconducting confinement, and we just confine it in air, cause the plasma. Why are we building this solid structure around it? Also, the structure is going to get destroyed. You're building a sun inside of a Dyson sphere. You're building a tiny sun inside of a tiny Dyson sphere, and then you're surprised that your Dyson sphere is being destroyed. Well, you're trying to contain a sun. Do you see a container when you look outside at the sun? Do you see a container around the sun? No, the reason why there's not a container is because it gets fucking destroyed. And that's literally what happens with these things. They get destroyed. So, like, I don't know why I'm the guy trying to explain why our fusion process is so stupid. All this stuff is out there. Just read Ken Shoulders, read permittivity transitions, read EVOs, look into Z-pinch, look into magnetically confined plasma reactions. This is too complicated.
Center of a star hot plasma, mere meters away from matter that's colder than intergalactic space. So to bottle our star, we have to create the largest temperature gradient in the known universe, which is, I guess, something to be proud of all on its own. Magnetic confinement reactors work by squeezing the plasma so it flows around.
Okay, so he's also saying that we have to reach this super high temperatures, but it also needs to be surrounded by something that's extremely low temperatures. So we're not, so listen to how hard, and this is like, dude, what? So you're going to make a sun, and then you need to have like a cool barrier, somehow making it so the sun is not bursting out and destroying everything. There's no way. There's no way. The hot fusion is so nonsensical. That's never going to work. It's never going to be practical. You need your ball of plasma to be floating freely. You need it to be floating freely. And once you realize that you don't need those high temperatures, all these problems go away. This whole idea of like, oh, we need it to be trapped in this superconducting donut. We don't need that anymore. Superconducting donut.
on the torus and then compressing the torus with the magnetic field and heating it by blasting it with energy via particle beams or EM waves until fusion is achieved. This has to be done cleverly because if you just run plasma in a circle, it leads to various instabilities that are fatal for your plasma and perhaps for your reactor. The leading solutions for stable toroidal plasma confinement are the tokamak and the stellarator.
Stable toroidal plasma confinement, chat. So here we go. As you can see, they're making metal donuts. The problem is the fields are not confined within the donut, right? And what they're trying to do is they're trying to keep them confined in there. There's a lot of work to do this. Just let the universe do what it's going to do. Let nature do what it's going to do. If nature wants to make plasma balls, let it make a plasma ball. Do I believe this will ever be successful, the stellarator or tokamak? No, I don't. I really don't.
The details of the differences are too important here, but tokamaks are more widely used, for example, by ITER, so I'll cover these just briefly. Tokamaks use 3 systems of magnets. The first system is the toroidal system, which is the main containment system and gives the plasma the donut shape. The next system is the poloidal system, which helps shape and position the plasma near the inner wall. This is to help compress the plasma for more reactions to occur. Lastly, the central solenoid drives the direction of the plasma, spinning the plasma in a circle. In contrast, stellarators combine all 3 magnetic systems into one using a 3D design, making them significantly more complicated. To some extent, the magnetic field is a relatively solved problem. There are no doubt refinements to be made in the form of the field, and definitely in the generation of the field with new superconductor technology. End up with enough energy to escape the magnetic field and reach the first wall.
Oh, here we go.
And this is the main source of heat energy from fusion. Some neutrons hit nuclei in the wall, potentially creating unstable isotopes. And some helium and hydrogen nuclei also end up with enough energy to escape the magnetic field and reach the first wall. Some of these are tritium nuclei, which are also highly unstable. As a result of the neutron and tritium bombardment, the wall becomes more radioactive over time.
So what he was saying here is that, like, basically this thing's messing stuff up. It's messing stuff up in there, and some of the stuff is hitting the walls when they don't want it to hit the walls. And again, the answer is pretty simple, right? You need magnetic field control, and you don't need a containment device for it. Just let it float. Let it float freely. Let it float freely. Is there a map of the movement of the plasma inside a controlled spherical shape? No, at that moment, if we could see that, that would be great. You might be able to figure that out from the MH370 videos. Okay, what was he saying here? Yeah, and then it becomes all about stabilization. Like, look at here. He's talking about magnetohydrodynamic stabilization. Here you go.
Good for the wall. This can also trigger larger magnetohydrodynamic instabilities in the plasma, causing the plasma to shed a lot of energy and potentially kill the fusion reaction.
Now, what did you just hear right there? Guys, we have fucking figured it out. Sorry that I've sworn multiple times. Earmuffs for the children. But it's all about stabilizing the plasma so that the energy is not emitted. That's what they're trying to do. Right? What did he just explain in the last 5 minutes? He said they're trying to make it so the energy doesn't escape, so it doesn't hit the walls of the tokamak, because it's going to destroy the walls of the tokamak. So how do they do that? Magnetohydrodynamics, which, as we've learned, is fluid dynamics of magnetic fields in a plasma, because the magnetic fields are forcing the electrons to move around in this plasma of electrons and ions. And so what they've done is this. They've figured out perfect magnetic control over the plasma. Perfect control. Perfect control over the plasma. They can move the electrons around the plasma however they want. And what this has unlocked is free energy. It has unlocked anti-gravity. And now it seems like somebody figured out that it unlocks teleportation or annihilation or both. Root for whichever one you want to root for.
Assuming our wall can survive the above, the heat generated within the wall will be carried away by some working fluid. Water is a popular choice, but also molten salts need tritium. Obviously, the lithium...
Carrying this stuff away is nonsense. And talking about making walls is nonsense, right? Like, this goes to show how far beyond the public the defense contractors are. This video is from 4 days ago. They're talking about making walls to contain your plasma using public science that's never been successful. And the defense contractors have figured all this shit out, and they already got plasma orbs that can float around with no walls at all. Because they've figured out aspects of physics that academia has no idea about.
Has to be replaced, but fortunately, this is a layer of material that amplifies the neutron flux. One neutron goes in, and two.
Let's see what else we got here. Tungsten, blah blah blah.
Toxic. Just in 2023.
Okay, so now they're talking about what types of metals they were going to use for the wall. But once again, this goes to show you, like, there is no wall. Why are we using walls? And this is, once again, like, look at how far what the MH370 videos tell us about fusion and plasma is that these guys aren't even close. These guys still are not even close. The fact that they're trying to use like beryllium and whatever they're trying to make metal walls to contain their plasma balls and shit like that shows they're not even looking at the problem the right way. They're literally trying to jam a square through a circle hole or whatever, right? Doesn't fit, doesn't work.
They decided that the hassles outweighed the benefits and shifted their plan back to good old tungsten. This is a pretty safe choice for ITER as an experiment wall, and then sprinkle a little bit of boron.
Okay, anything else? What about this?
Getting plasmas up to fusion temperature requires physicists to add large amounts of energy, both with EM fields and with neutral beam injectors. Experiments like the lithium tokamak experiment beta at the Princeton Plasma Physics Lab suggest that a little bit of lithium in the plasma may help the plasma get to the temperature more easily. Finally, the lithium can even double as a coolant and the tritium breeder if it's moved through and behind the tungsten wall. As I said,
I spoke about, there was something related to that Princeton email, that Princeton fusion whatever lab.
ITER is supposed to produce its first.
Somebody can look at there was some kind of news related to Princeton fusion. Anyway,
first plasma this year, but is projected to achieve its first fusion reaction in 2035.
Okay, so anyway, that's it. First fusion reaction 2035, bro. These people need a GTFO, bro. If you're out there and you're trying to do fusion and you're like, hey, we might get fusion in 10 years, what are you doing with your life? Figure it out. What's the holdup? What are we paying people that they might figure it out in 10 years? Are you kidding me? It's just like, we've been waiting for 70 years for fusion. How can you guys think? How can anyone out there think that cold fusion is not being suppressed? How can you think that? How can you think that fusion's not being suppressed in general? You just think that we just can't figure it out. Is that how things work? Is that we spend 70 years on them and we have no idea how they work and we just keep funding them and spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on them and claiming they don't work because we just believe it'll work one day? Just magically out of the blue, somehow it'll just work. No one has any idea how right now. We just know it will. Does that make any sense to anybody? No. What makes sense is they know it works. They've already got it figured out. They just can't let us peasants know how it works yet. That's the truth. And they being a very small number of people that if they blab, they go to an early grave and or prison. Maybe they get buried in prison. Let me see here. I don't think we need an Edward Lin fund. I think I don't know. We'll come to that problem when we get to it. I don't have a sharp email. So some of you guys, if you like use those online things to look people up, by the way, a lot of that stuff's not very accurate, chat. So just, heads up on that. If you find my phone numbers on there, it probably won't be accurate. If you find my emails on there, probably won't be accurate. But my emails have pretty much been doxed several times. So if you really, really need to find me, it's out there somewhere if you talk to the right people. The easiest way to get a hold of me is to join the Discord and to message me on the Discord. And please don't spam me stuff. So, okay. fact, I think we might call it there, guys. So let's just cool down and chat a little bit more about the MH370 stuff. So I'm just looking at the messages here. Because, yeah, the truth is this is probably the closest we've ever gotten. I mean, what really woke me up was when I heard the voicemail from Larry Youngner. Because I realized that he had broken away from the law firm and that he might actually be able to talk. He might actually be able to talk about the case. And if he's out there and listening, he really, really needs to call me up tomorrow morning. We need to talk. We need to talk about this stuff and what it means, because I'm not even sure that Larry Youngner really understands what's going on. It's very possible for you to be a lawyer in a case and not understand the implications of the videos that you saw. Like, he could know those videos are real and not really understand what that means. I mean, that's a black operation that we're seeing, and that's technology that's like magical technology in those videos. So yeah, definitely need to talk to him about everything going on in that. Otherwise, we're approaching the 11-year anniversary in a few weeks, and I do plan to talk to another investigator and put out a podcast related to it. I've got some other people lined up as well. I haven't really been sure exactly what my focus is going to be, but I think it's going to be around things that are related to MH370, missing airliners, exotic technology, black operations, things like that, military stuff. And for anyone who might criticize like who I talk to, like some people think that, well, Nick Pope worked for the government, whatever. So what? I've always said I'm going to talk to anybody and everybody. I'll even talk to the UFO people. I'll talk to Jeremy Corbell, Lou Elizondo. I don't care. Why would I not want to talk to them? So, I mean, that's how we learn. That's how we learn information. In fact, I feel like I learn more, I feel like, when I talk to people I don't agree with rather than when I just talk to people I already agree with. But yeah, we are as close as I think we've ever been in showing the MH370 videos are real. And I think that if somebody can find the clip from Candace Owens, or I think I've said it multiple times, but the multiple ways that the videos can be proven real, Edward Lynn coming forward. That's what it seems like that might just happen. There's a real chance of that just happening. And if that happens, I hope people accept it, and I hope people don't go in full denial mode. I know a lot of people will, but please, like, what more can you really ask if Edward Lynn comes out and admits that he leaked the videos? Are you guys really going to go full conspiracy and claim that, like, he's just doing it for attention or something, pretending like he leaked the videos when he didn't? Like, I can already see the excuses forming. Like, that's the end. If Edward Lynn comes out and says he admits that he leaked those videos, that's the end, man. I don't want to hear any more bullshit about how you think some photographer took some pictures and some non-existent hoaxer found them, even though they didn't exist on the internet, and that you think it's CGI because you don't understand how military surveillance systems work and stuff like that. I don't want to hear any more excuses from people about it after that. And if you don't want to believe it after that, no one's going to make you believe that we've got plasma orbs and teleportation tech. No one's going to make you believe that. No one's going to make you interact with my content and what have you. You're absolutely free to live your life out, living a lie, like Cypher in the Matrix, just staying blue-pilled and just pretending like the whole world is fake. You can just pretend like it's all real and live a little Disney, fake life out. That if you want to do that, that's totally fine. That's totally an acceptable option. But yes, the lying has to stop. The lying has to stop. And just like many other people have said that I've interviewed, there are too many homeless people. There are too many people starving, struggling in this world when there's no reason for it. This ends all of that. So there's no real choice. We have to do the right thing. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I'm going to take it easy. Let me see if we hit any of these other things. Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate your donation, man. Yeah, it's if you can use the orbs to make it about 50 degrees hotter outside, I'd really appreciate that, you guys. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to throw the Discord link in the chat. You guys have a great night. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, MH370X. Thank you for your ongoing support. The moment I have more updates related to the lawyer, I will let you know. Just keep in mind, if I do talk to the lawyer directly, there may be stuff that he does not want me to talk about publicly or on my channel and stuff like that. And if so, I will have to adhere to that, of course. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. And once again, do not harass the lawyer. Do not harass anyone related to the family. If you do have access to Edward Lynn or anyone who has a direct connection to him, put them in touch with me, please. If you want disclosure to happen, that is the best thing that we can do. I need to get them on the record saying things that corroborate that he leaked the videos. And if we can do that, game over. Full disclosure, catastrophic disclosure, free energy technology, plasma technology for everyone. So, thank you. Also, I just saw this. Marcano, wow. Thank you very much for that donation. That's huge. Wow, that's a good way to end the stream. You made my night, Marcano. Thank you very much, sir. You are a hero. You are a legend. Spread the word of 0 Point Energy disclosure. Get the word out there. Let's get Edward Lynn into whatever we got to do, whistleblower protection, and let's do this thing, chat. Love you. Peace out, everybody. We're going to go with this one. God, I have too many videos lined up here. Where's the right one? This one.
Infrared eyes, scanning the black, tracking the heat, never turning back. Control 22, a covert gaze. Control 33, in the cosmic maze. Controls in the mix, secrets untold. Silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interests far and wide. As fears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. In the silence of space, they keep their post, shields unseen yet feared the most. With precision and speed, they warn of danger, keeping us safe from the missile's anger. As beers, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. Controls in the mix, secrets untold, silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interests far and wide. As fears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. As fears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding